I'm hanging out with Johnny Jett here at the LA Times Travel Show. He is a master of value travel, so we're here to get a few tips for you. Johnny, how did you start finding your passion for travel?
Well, I actually used to be afraid to fly, afraid to leave the house. I got over my fear. I grew up in Connecticut. I was always amazed that you can get on a plane in freezing cold Connecticut and 2 hours later be in hot and sunny Florida. So air travel always amazed me. I finally came out to school in California. Long story, got over my fears.
Wow.
When I was here, I was dating a girl who lived all around the world. And my first trip was to Hong Kong with her. But she only flew business class, and I wasn't going to sit in the back of the bus while she's sipping champagne. So I had to figure out a way to get a cheap ticket. Wow. So that's when I really started doing my research, and I learned about consolidators. So I got a business class ticket for $300 more than a coach ticket. And man, to have your first out-of-coach experience, you want to do it on a trans-Pacific flight. I mean, I was like, man, God, you get treated better on the flight than you do at home. And, they're giving you sorbet to clean your palate in between meals. I was like, man, I fell in love with travel, fell in love with Hong Kong, got back. I had all these freaking flyer miles from that one trip, enough for a domestic ticket. And then I just started reading books, asking questions, dating flight attendants. I learned everything. Wow. I mean, you learn so much. And then I just started sharing my secrets. This is back in 1995 when email was brand new. And I was just sending out to all my friends saying, hey, check out this website, check out this deal. You can get double miles, triple miles, whatever. Wow. And just started trying to show people what's out there.
Excellent. That's so intriguing. So you got to date some airline stewardesses, get some tricks?
I maybe embellished a little bit. It was one.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that was worth it. Definitely. What's consolidation? What does that mean exactly?
You mean in
terms of
the travel agents? They're not so popular anymore because now the internet's out there. This is before the internet, but you can still find some. These are like wholesalers who buy seats in bulk, and then they can sell them for much cheaper. A lot of times they don't come with miles. So things like that. There are some good out there, but you don't hear so much. These days you can find really good deals online without a consolidator.
Okay. Excellent. I remember my first overseas business class experience, and the only thing I wanted to do was drink. Did you drink on your first flight?
What? I've actually never been drunk in my life. Oh, really? All my buddies from college don't believe it. Wow, I played lacrosse, and they're like, what are you talking about? You're the biggest drunk of them all. But actually, they were the drunks, and I was just going to all the parties and acting crazier than they were. But I think I was just high off life. But anyway, I don't drink. So the best thing to do, actually, when you're flying is not to drink because alcohol really dries you out. It's double up in the air, so you can really get drunk fast. That's why you hear a lot of people, having all these kind of, attacks on planes. They just go ballistic because they don't realize it's really double the alcohol.
Yep, absolutely. So even though it might sound fun, alcohol does dry you out on the airplane, so it's not a suggested tip from a master traveler. How would you suggest for people to maybe start finding tips to save?
Well, for flights, what you want to do is you want to sign up to 3 newsletters. One is theflightdeal.com. The other one's airfarewatchdog.com. And another one's my website called johnnyjet.com. Perfect. And so you can just sign up. Also, you want to go to 2 websites that have really message boards. One's milepoint.com and the other one's flyertalk.com. And these are the guys who find out of all these mistake fares where you learn a fare is like $5 to go from, across country or $100 round trip to Europe. Really? And so they put them on these message boards, and then all of a sudden they just kind of spread on like a wildfire. And also that's why you want to subscribe to those newsletters I just mentioned to you.
So when you find that deal, you want to jump on that, like $5 across the country.
That's not going to last long. Right, so that's why you really got to. It takes time, and that's why you also want to sign up to these newsletters because hopefully the good ones will alert you. And if I'm online and I see it, I immediately spit it out. But I'm not always online, so that's why you got to also do your own work.
Absolutely. How many trips do you book at one point? Maybe if you're finding deals, will you book 5 in advance for the next month or 2 months?
I usually don't know my schedule that far in advance, but I have friends, that Delta fare that was a mistake fare last month. One of my buddies bought 6 tickets from North Carolina to Alaska. He spent, I think, $300 total. No way. And he has so many freaking flights. He has such elite status on Delta that he gets upgraded for free automatically every flight. Wow. So he's flying 6 times to Alaska first class for $300 total.
For all of them.
The whole thing total.
Wow, amazing. So mistake fares are something also to look out for. What are your tips on, finding a great hotel? How do you stay at a great hotel if you don't necessarily have the budget?
Well, I don't know if you were at our panel, but Brian was talking about there's some credit cards you can sign up to. The Hyatt will give you two nights free if you get their credit card. But the thing about credit cards is you got to make sure you can pay off your bills on time. If you cannot pay your credit card bills off on time, it's not worth getting any kind of travel rewards card because their APR interest is way too high, and it's gonna cost you a lot in the long run, and you're not gonna be able to get out of debt. I mean, it can really be a problem. But another way is to, last minute deals is really good. There's an app called Hotel Tonight. So at 9 a.m. of that day, you can go onto their app and see whatever city you're interested in, what their prices are. So sometimes you can get 5-star hotels for a fifth of the price.
Wow.
So that's one good way.
Last thing on the next question I was going to ask was, what is your favorite travel app? Can you pinpoint one, or is there a couple? What do you think?
There's so many good ones, but for business travelers, I think TripIt is really good because TripIt. So all you do is anytime I make a reservation, either a car rental, hotel, airline, I can just forward my reservations to plans@tripit.com, and it will compile it into a really nice itinerary. So I can book at 5 different websites, and I'll have one nice itinerary. Wow. Also, when I'm traveling, they'll alert me if my flight is delayed before the airline will. They'll also tell me there's a gate change. So that's why I like that app.
Wow, excellent. Well, you got the tips. TripIt as an app. Do not drink when you're traveling, and make sure you look out for those mistake fares.